Currently in New York City, there's the very real possibility of a card carrying communist and a jihadist in sheep's clothing who wants to be the mayor of the country's most populous city. And yesterday there was a mayoral debate and a lot happened. We're going to talk about that right now. Let's get an idea of who Mamdani the commie truly is in a lovely little interview we have for him, where someone on the streets asks if he will denounce Sharia law. Let's see what he has to say about this. I mean, obviously, this should be an easy answer, right? An easy denouncement of Sharia law.
Sharia law.
What does Sharia law have to do with this?
I'm denouncing them. I'm asking you.
I am running.
I know, but that's the point. If you're going to run for mayor, you have to denounce it. You denounce that.
What is Sharia law?
I come from a political tradition Donald Trump describes as the enemy within. We came here to remake this state in the image of our people.
Police think about Zohran, because I know that's like a little contentious.
Just what they think. You're a city employee. You get told what to do. Shut up.
Not very good when Mamdani the commie is incapable of saying anything negative about Sharia law. Very, very strange, you know? And his performance last night really didn't win him many favors. Let's look to see what went on that debate. A lot of good moments for anyone but Mamdani, who looked sweaty, who looked smelly, who looked like he was floundering on that stage. Let's see.
I understand my friend doesn't really understand government. The governor doesn't build housing in New York City.
Not if it's you.
No, legally, there are jurisdictions. The governor doesn't pick up trash. He doesn't run the fire department. That's what the mayor does. The mayor builds housing. The state allocates funding for localities. And I allocated more funding for housing than any governor in the history of the state of New York. All right? I did things. You have never had a job. You've never accomplished anything. There's no reason to believe you have any merit or qualification for 8.5 million lives. You don't know how to run a government. You don't know how to handle an emergency. And you've literally never proposed a bill on anything that you're not talking about in your campaign. You had the worst attendance record in the assembly. And you gave yourselves the highest raise in the United States of America. You went from $110,000 to $140,000, and then you never showed up for work, and you missed 80% of the votes. Shame on you. Shame on you.
So the question is, how does a man that has no qualifications, is a slimy, sweaty, glistening communist, how does he get this position? And the answer may shock you, but believe it or not, there have been leaked documents that the Communist Party of China, the Chinese Communists, the CCP, owned TikTok, has manipulated their algorithm to feed New Yorkers pro Zohran Mamdani the commie content. Chinese-owned TikTok allegedly meddling in New York City mayoral race by boosting Mamdani content over Kumo. Oof. But TikTok, it's totally fine if it's owned by the communists. It's totally fine if it's owned by some of our greatest enemies. That's totally fine. Yeah, not looking too good, I must say. This, of course, is the man that was talking about globalized and infantada. You know, this is, to be very clear, a jihadist in sheep's clothing. Let's see what he has to say about that.
I think there is room for disagreement on many positions and many policies, but I also want to correct the record. I have never, not once, spoken in support of global jihad. That is not something that I have said, and that continues to be ascribed to me, and frankly, I think much of it has to do with the fact that I am the first Muslim candidate to be on the precipice of winning this election. Now, all this...
So, That all sounds really good. Oh, my racism. Oh, everyone, boo hoo, boo me, my racism, dude. That's what it all is. But the question is, if that is truly the case, then why is he hanging out with people responsible for the 9/11 bombing? People like Hassan Piker, the dog striker, who literally sells terrorism light to young impressionable children on Twitch, who said that 9/11 was a good thing. Why is that? What's going on? You're sending me different messaging here. Of course, this is also Zohran Mamdani, the commie, who really is incapable of even making any sort of stance on issues whatsoever, who is not even able to intellectually describe to you what his basic policy decisions are going to be.
Housing should be good jobs as well.
What a political answer. What is your opinion, Zoran?
Yes or no?
Come on.
Yes or no?
What is your opinion? Yes or no, Zoran? Don't be a politician here.
I got it. They're pointing out what I was about to.
Please answer the question.
No, I think on the stage you can see two people appealing for the Republican Party's votes. And myself.
Answer the question. Answer the question for once.
My question to you was, do you support the 3 ballot amendment questions?
I have not yet taken a position on those ballot amendment questions.
Oh, what a shocker.
All right.
What a shocker.
We're gonna
Wow, Mamdani, the commie, doesn't have a position, doesn't know what he's talking about, is completely unqualified. Communism is a disastrous thing which only leads to death and destruction. Anyone who's a communist must be excised like the cancer that they are from politics and society. And that's the bottom line. It's not, oh, but both sides, bro. Both sides. Both sides. No. There's very clearly a right and a wrong in this situation. And if you know anything about history, you'll know that anywhere that is taken over by the scourge of communism immediately fails, immediately leads to death, destruction, famine, all those things which just seem really bad. And I know that it's very hard to comprehend such concepts when we live in, hopefully you live in a Western style democracy with great abundance of food and all the modern amenities that a person could ever ask for right at your fingertips. But there are places which are struggling. There have been places where even the mere concept of trying to get food to eat for the day requires you to stand in bread lines. Even trying to get electricity requires you to maybe possibly hope that the power grid is working. That is the reality of a communist situation. That is the reality of a communist country. That is the reality of what Zohran Mamdani, the commie, is trying to institute in New York City, the once greatest city in the United States of America, the most populous city in the United States of America, a man who has zero qualifications, zero ability, has a multi-million-dollar mom who gave him everything he ever wanted on a silver platter, yet somehow speaks like a champagne socialist and talks about the ideals of no one having any desire to work in society because there's given everything. About all this like nonsense about, it's just crazy, you know? Oh, how are you going to give people free buses and free this and free that? Oh, well, guess what? We're just going to take the money from the white people. We're going to take the money from the rich people. We're going to raise taxes by $9 billion. From who? The white people. He literally said that. He literally specifically said, we are going to take the money from the white people. That is actually something that he said. And I know that you may look at that and you might hear that and you say, oh, well, I'm not white. I don't care. Well, guess what? It's not always going to be just the white people. Then he might say, well, I'm a Muslim. I don't care. Let's take it from the Christians. And you'll say, oh, I'm not a Christian. I don't care. Oh, well, let's take it from XYZ and other thing. Any non-marginalized group that they decide is more worthy of your funds, your fruits of your labor, because that's what communists do. They take until there's nothing more to take. It's absolutely disastrous, always leads to famine, always leads to destruction, and is a terrible thing. Not only is he a communist, he's a jihadist in sheep's clothing. that is looking to destroy the fabric of what it means to be an American. This guy says it with his own words, his own speech, and yet he's using an actual ability of his own religion, own faith of radical Islam, which states that he can lie to you, specifically lies in order to further his goals. He won't even disavow Sharia law, of instituting Sharia law in the United States, saying, oh, what do you mean? That is the bottom line, okay? You should be afraid. You should be scared. You should be shaking in your boots that a man like this is so close to achieving any level of power in the United States of America. And the fact that we have things like communist China influencing the elections of the United States of America through usage of things like TikTok in order to promote this guy, this fraud, this scam artist, this loser, this scumbag, is insane. Absolutely insane. But that's the place we're in. That's the position we're in. And it's very scary. You should be scared. You should be incredibly scared. Just so you're aware. Just so you know.
Thank you to the moderators, and thank you to New Yorkers for tuning in. I know you'd rather be watching the Knicks. While there are 3 candidates on this stage, you will hear only 2 messages. My opponents, who spend more time trying to convince the other to drop out than actually proposing their own policies, will speak only of the past, because that's all that they know. I am the sole candidate running with a vision for the future of this city. Andrew Cuomo will spend much of tonight attacking me. He is a desperate man, lashing out because he knows that the one thing he's always cared about, power, is now slipping away from him. He will amplify right-wing talking points, he will share conspiracy theories, and he will do these things to make you feel that this should keep you up at night. But I've been spending the last year listening to New Yorkers, and I know what actually keeps you up. It's whether or not you can afford to live a safe and dignified life in this city. I have plans for our future. My opponents only have fear.
This man can do nothing that he sets out to do. He's not qualified. He has no idea what's going on and will only lead to absolute disaster. Absolute abject disaster is what he is going to make for the city of New York City. Very clearly. Oh, by the way, here he is with a selfie with the World Trade Center terrorists, you know. Wow, look at that. Wow, just smiling, all smiles, you know. Amazing, all smiles right there. I mean, are you, I don't know, like, right? I mean, should you be worried about that? Yes, you should be. You should be very scared. Oh, they say, oh, all they're trying to do is make you scared. Yeah, because you should be scared. Very much so. I'm sorry, but it's true. This is a very scary place to be in. Trying to find something that I thought that I had. Let's see here. Let's talk about this. When it comes to people polled regarding Zohran Mamdani, when only American-born voters are polled, they vote as followed. Andrew Cuomo, 40%, Zohran Mamdani, 31%, Curtis Silwa, 25%. How about when only foreign-born voters are polled? Zohran Mamdani jumps up to 62%. Andrew Cuomo, 24%. Curtis Silwa, 12%. Pretty interesting. I don't know. Interesting.